Hi everyone. This is the Sturge Right Sit Down. I'm here with Brandon Elrich today from Brandon Elrich is So Gay. We've been wanting to do this collaboration for a while now. I'm so excited that we've gotten a chance to actually get it together and find the time to do this. I'm really excited to see all of you. How do you feel about it, Brandon?
Yes, hello. I am Brandon Elrich. As Sturge said, with Brandon Elrich is so gay. I'm going to be ending up uploading the audio version of this for an audio podcast. So this is going to be episode 35, I think, or something like that. I wrote it down. I forgot.
I feel
Anyway,
so blessed to be in to be in on this really early in your series.
oh yeah, yeah, yes, and
30,
hopefully we'll do it
35 is just
again.
going to be yeah. This is gonna be one of many. One of yeah, and I definitely want to do this again. So sorry, I keep interrupting you, but I'm excited.
No, it's all right. We'll kind of just talk just a little bit while people are still coming in, and um, you can. So on my publication, Brandon Eldridge is so gay. I write mainly humor, satire. I do lot of live videos. I've been doing a gay baker series, gay chef series, and
I have a
I
question for
knew.
you. Are you wearing a shirt under that apron or like
Usually there was one time I was wearing a shirt, but usually I wear almost nothing under it.
I mean up top, right?
No, I wear underwear and that's it.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to clarify that for your fans. Your only fan. I mean, sorry.
Oh, right,
Sorry.
right, right. So I met Sturge on Medium a few years ago,
3 or 4.
and yeah, it was 2022, I think, or something like that. But
Yeah.
then we all kind of everybody that I knew, well, not everybody, but a lot of people I was close to on Medium basically migrated to Substack. And I don't know if have you written anything on. You've written a couple things on Substack, haven't you?
Yeah. Um Mostly though, I've been doing a lot of notes and videos from my real life, just things that come to my mind. I'm gonna definitely start writing a lot more Substack only content soon. Planning on doing a few podcasts, a lot of different things on Substack, just to let people know I'm around. But yeah, so far so good.
All
I
right.
love Substack.
So when we talked about doing this live, we were or a podcast. Reflection on my glasses. I'm trying to get rid of that. Let's see.
Can you see me
Still
in
kind
your
of
glasses?
reflecting.
I think can you see me in your glasses?
Well, I'm in front of a window, so it's kind of reflecting. Okay, that's a little better. All right.
You did.
Anyway, when we were talking about doing this live, we're gonna we were talking about doing queer representation in media, and of course,
Sports media. Yeah.
media encompasses all kinds of different things. Could be TV, film, sports, news, documentaries,
Politics.
all that kind of thing. So, one of the things I don't know if do you want to get started with what you wrote, or you want me to lead into it?
You can lead into it, and we'll have a conversation about it.
So, one thing I kind of wanted to ask was, do you remember the very first time that you saw any gay characters or people or queer people on TV? Like, do you remember back? I don't know, the first time you ever saw one.
Um, so there is a moment in my childhood I remember. It was actually a very monumental moment in TV history. It was in the 90s. So it was like I wanna say I was either in middle school or early in high school when it happened, but it was the Ellen show.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
at the time, Ellen DeGeneres, well, we know now she's not that great of a person, but I mean, she came she came out on she, well, not live TV. It was like it was an episode she did where her
Right.
character comes out, and that was a big deal at the time because not a lot of there wasn't a lot of especially female gay characters in represented in media, especially on network TV. And she was a network TV show. She was on ABC at the time, and ABC actually shortly canceled her show after that because there was a huge backlash
Yeah.
to her coming out on the show. But that
Yeah. I
was the
remember
first
her.
time. Yeah,
Oh, sorry. I remember talking about that um, on her talk show whenever she ended up getting that it's basically right after she came out they canceled her show.
yeah. I watched the Ellen Show. I really enjoyed that show, and I always had this inkling that she was. I mean, I'm not saying that that's like something that I seek out to do, like actively try to figure out if someone's gay or not, but I kind of sensed it from her specifically. Did you ever sense that from her before she came out?
No, well, like at the time I didn't even know who she was. I didn't
Oh,
watch that
you weren't
show.
watching the Ellen Show? I was. I was actively in that. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, not at first. I mean, the first time I watched her was on her not the show that she came out in the sitcom,
Yeah.
but at her talk show later. I don't think I got
Mhm.
in on it when she first started the talk show, but one of the first ones that I saw that I remember was back in the 80s. Either, I don't know, there are two of them that I remember, and I don't remember which one I saw first, but I saw the movie Clue, which I love. I love Clue. I might at my family we watched it over and over and over again. I love that movie. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
But
I
so
love
I
that
don't know if
movie.
you remember Mr. Green, his character. One of the secret that Mr. Body, was holding over him was that he was gay and he had a job in Washington. And if that came out, that he would get fired from his job. And so he
Yeah.
was paying this blackmailer because of that. So I remember that, because he admitted that he was gay in that movie. But then there was also the movie Mannequin. I don't know if you know that movie or not, but it
I do.
it came out. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't remember the main actors' names in that, but there was Meshach Taylor was in it. Oh, hi, Adrian. I haven't seen her in a while.
I have not
Um,
seen Adrian in a while either, and I love seeing her. So, hey, hey.
um. Oh, and hi, everybody else is coming in.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I
I'm
was
not
here.
gonna.
There's
Uh,
a lot of people
yeah,
here.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
stop and talk to everybody that comes in, but just thought I'd
We're
say
yeah,
hey.
we're having a conversation.
Um. So I don't remember the main two actors in that movie in the Mannequin, but Meshach Taylor was in it, and his character was
I
gay.
remember that.
And I remember like there was one scene, I don't know, I think there was like a shootout in the mall or something. Something was going on in the mall, and they were crawling along the floor. It was him and the main guy, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
And he said something about being in the army, and the guy was like, "You were in the army?" And he's like, "Yeah, they were looking for a few good men, and so was I." So I just that line sticks out to me. It's like he was like openly admitting that he was looking for men, that he was gay, basically. And
In
that,
the '80s, when it was a little more like,
yeah, yeah. And I don't remember seeing that kind of thing before. So that was kind of interesting.
I have a
But
story to share now that you mentioned that it's actually a real life story, not from a movie or anything. My father, um, didn't come out until the late '90s, when he was diagnosed with HIV, right?
okay,
So, um, before that, though, he was in the Air Force from 1978 to 1984, right after I was born in '82. So, like, 6 years, and then like when I got to be about 2 years old, a toddler, he stayed home with us more or whatever. But like at the time, I didn't. None of us knew this, but he was afraid to come out because he wanted to have sex with men, and he was in the military at the time,
Oh
and he
yeah.
was doing this behind my mom's back, obviously, because they had just come back from overseas. My mom is an immigrant at the time, a new American immigrant, because she'd been in the U.S. since 1980, and it was so hard for him to come to terms with him wanting to be with men, but now rushing into this marriage and having kids and stuff. It was hard for him in that time frame, around the time frame that we're mentioning here.
Yeah.
And he didn't feel like he saw much queer representation for him, so he felt like it was dangerous for him to come out, which at the time it might have been, especially with the military. Don't ask, don't tell. Well, that was later, but it was like these hostile policies that were in place through the government or through society that made him feel like he wasn't ever going to be able to come out until he did. And I think that was important for him to start seeing those people come through on the screen. Especially, I think what really did it for him was that show. Do you remember Queer as Folk? They had
Yeah.
the UK
Yeah.
version, but then like,
Yeah. Yeah. I
wait,
thought
which one came? Which
the
one came
UK
first? US
version,
or the?
the UK
Go ahead.
version came first, like it usually is. The Americans,
Yeah, yeah.
copy off the UK. But yeah, the UK version was first, and I didn't know anything about that one. But I did. I heard about the American version, but we didn't. Growing up in my house, we didn't have cable or satellite or anything like that, so we didn't. We didn't have HBO. I think it was on HBO at the
It was
time.
either HBO or Showtime. Was one of
Oh yeah,
those,
it could have been Showtime. Yeah, but
because the
either
L
one
Word
we
was
didn't
on
have.
Showtime too. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. That came after Queer as Folk. The L Word. I love that show.
I remember
Catherine
Queer as
Mayonnaise.
Folk after it. I think after it had been on for a while, it came out in on VHS. You could rent it like at Blockbuster or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think there was a time that I went and it was when I hadn't come out yet, and I was looking through movies and stuff, and I saw that, and I picked it up, and there was somebody that I knew that came into Blockbuster, and I was like, I
Oh
was so
no.
hoping that they weren't going to ask me what movie I was renting, because I was just like, just kind of afraid that's like, what are you renting that? Like, "Ah."
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, I think I cut off your,
No, you didn't. I like that you added that to that. Just that moment of like kind of like a panic because you see somebody you recognize and you don't want them to know what the
yeah,
secret you were holding that whole time, which I think is a good thing we can talk about in this thing, because like when we were growing up, like you and I and stuff, like in that time, because I mean we're around the same age. That's what I'm gonna say right now. I'm not gonna reveal either one of our ages, but we're around
yeah,
the same age. We grew up around similar eras and time where it wasn't as acceptable to be gay, and we didn't have the representation growing up like as much as we do now, which is wonderful
right,
because now I see all these queer movies on like Tubi, I think it is. That there's like the
yes,
specific
yes,
free platform you can watch all the gay movies on, and that's wonderful because like I feel like Netflix and the other ones used to have a lot more, and now they don't have as much as they used to. Which Tubi, I think it just got a lot of the ones that they didn't keep on there or whatever, and I think that's wonderful. Like Geography Club is a really good one I saw that I can tell you is a wonderful queer movie. Love, Simon, obviously. I mean that's an
yes.
amazing movie.
Oh, that
Um,
was such a good movie.
was another one I saw recently. It was this one with these two lesbians, and they were on a the like the dad was in the mob or whatever. Oh
No,
my gosh,
doesn't
Love
sound
Lies
familiar.
Bleed. Love Lies Bleed.
Oh, I've heard that title.
Yeah, the big Mike said the big lesbian. Well,
Yeah, that's one
anyway,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah, growing up, when you don't see anybody on TV coming out, it's kind of makes you think. I I'm not going to come out either. I haven't seen
Yeah.
anybody else come out. And then, like when Will and Grace aired, that was kind
Oh
of a
yeah,
big deal.
that
That
was a
was
huge deal.
I guess that was in the 90s too,
It
right?
started in the 90s. Yeah, it was like mid to late 90s, and then it went into the 2000s a little bit. Um,
So
but yeah,
I
no.
kind of
Mhm.
I kind of started to feel a little bit better, when because it was showing, they were accepted. It was a popular show and people liked it,
Yeah,
and
and the
you
NBC
know,
network show that was really popular. Um,
yeah,
what the only one thing that kind of bothered me about it was finding out that Eric McCormick, the one who played Will, was straight in real life.
yeah,
And I was like, I mean, why are we? I mean, I know, but he was such a good actor. I didn't really have that huge of a problem with it at the time because he really portrayed it well, and he didn't make it feel like tokenism versus like an
yeah.
authentic story, a real life gay person. He felt like a real queer character. Um, but I do find like sometimes I have a problem with the way, s- not all the time, but when straight people play these gay characters, sometimes they can make they can dial up the tokenism rather and like the stereotypes rather than the actual authentic storytelling. And there's one recent example of this, and I think he was rightfully canceled for this. With James Corden, if you watch The Prom,
I
his
haven't watched
his
that.
his
I've heard that title though.
his character in The Prom is just so over the top, like flamboyant. And I know there are people that are actually like that in our community, but like that almost feels like he was calling back to want to like a time when we accepted those more kitschy like token gay characters as the acceptable mainstream gay, like that was our representation. And
Feeding
I felt
into
like
the stereotype, basically.
exactly. And I think now what we see, especially with the mainstream gay stuff now, is that gay characters are playing gay roles, which is wonderful. It's
Yeah,
giving jobs to more gay actors like Neil Patrick Harris and Matt Bomer. Oh, he was amazing in Fellow Traveler. I mean, if you didn't see Fellow Travelers, you've got to watch that.
I
Jonathan
don't know that
Bailey
one.
and Matt Bomer.
Okay.
It's a Showtime one. I'll have to send you the link to that one because and it's basically exploring these two gay men who worked for the government. And this was during the Red Scare and the Lavender Scare. So this was the time when it was still unacceptable to be gay. It was like in the 50s this story starts, I think, in like the 50s. Yeah. And this goes through the decades until the 80s when the AIDS epidemic had hit. And by that time, I'm not going to give anything away really, because if you haven't watched it's totally
Oh
worth
yeah,
the
I don't
watch.
want any spoilers.
It's a super, super well done show, and it shows how we've evolved with how we've seen queer people over the years, and it kind of ends heartbreakingly, really. But I'm not going to give much away. Oh, and I was mentioning Star Trek Discovery. There's a new show, a Star Trek show that's giving um a lot of wonderful queer representation right now. So I
Yeah, I
think
remember her
that's
talking about that the other
wonderful.
day, I think, in our
Yeah,
writers group.
in our writing
But
group, yeah,
yeah, she mentioned Tig Notaro. I didn't know she was in the show.
yeah. Oh, Tig, yeah,
I
I
liked
got
her
to watch that one
comedy.
now.
I couldn't imagine her being in a Star Trek show. That sounds so funny, but I mean, not
She
funny.
probably
Sounds so
brings some
odd,
good.
I guess.
I know, but she probably brings some good humor to the show. She probably balances it out.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, we're funny, right? I mean, we'd
I
like to
mean,
think we are.
I guess we are. Well, depends on
I
depends
mean,
on who
you're
you ask,
funny.
probably.
Well, you're funny. I'm
Well,
gonna say it's yours.
sometimes. I don't know. I leave that up to other people. That's why
Well,
one thing
you
somebody
can't say
said.
it's all. Yeah.
You can't what?
You can't say it yourself. I can say it.
Oh yeah, yeah, right.
I think people in
So,
general in this chat will probably agree.
well,
I'm baiting them now. No, go ahead. But what?
so
How do you feel about that? Like we were
what?
we were touching on it, but we didn't really. I mean, I guess we did kind of discuss it, but like I mentioned, tokenism versus being authentic in the stories, like these characters
Oh
we
yeah.
see. Like, what has your experience been with either like tokenism versus authentic storytelling, like in your own experience?
I mean, well, back at like when I said the first character that I saw, like the character in Mannequin, that was a stereotypical kind of role. He was pretty flamboyant, but he was straight in real life, Meshack Taylor,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not. It doesn't, like you were saying, it doesn't happen as much now. I don't know. I go back and forth about that. I kind of admire a straight guy being willing to play a gay guy and actually have like love scenes, kissing scenes, and stuff like that.
Daniel
And
Craig in that newer movie.
I was just about to ask you if you saw that because
I
I
have
I saw it not too long
Queer.
ago.
That was
Yeah, yeah.
amazing. And then
I thought he did a good job.
Paul Mescal in that one movie with well, one of them straight in real life, and then one of them's gay. Paul Mescal straight, and that Irish guy, what's his name? From Sherlock. Uh, the
Oh,
one who played
oh,
not Watson, but his main
Holmes.
rival. No, 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 the
Oh,
rival.
oh, oh. I don't know.
Uh, Hang on, I'll have to find it now. The movie's called All of Us Strangers. I think that was well done, even though there's a straight guy in that role. It's Andrew Scott.
Oh, okay.
That's who I was thinking of. He played Moriarty. He played Moriarty in
Oh, right,
Sherlock.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
So
But that guy's great.
another straight guy that played a gay role was in The Last of Us. Did
Oh,
you seen The Last of Us? Nick
what's his
Offerman.
name? Nick Offerman, the one who played Ron Swanson on Parks and Rec. Yeah. Oh my God, I love him.
I mean, that storyline was so good, and you don't expect Nick Offerman to play that kind of role, and I thought he did a really good job at it.
He really
And
did. I think I watched that the moment I heard. That's the only episode I've watched so far from that series, and I think
oh, really?
he did it. Yeah, he did a wonderful job. I played the games and stuff, so I was like, I don't really want to watch the series if it's gonna like spoil the game
Oh,
for me. Like, you know what I mean?
oh, I see. Yeah. Okay.
But he did a really fantastic job in that role. That whole episode, it didn't feel standalone. It felt like it played a bigger part in the whole in the series as a whole.
Yeah, I
And
thought it was. I really like the way they did that show altogether, but that
mhm,
episode was very touching.
mhm.
I thought he did a really good job.
I cried.
But so moving on to um, so we talked about kind of TV and film. What about in the world of sports?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's great to start seeing a lot more representation in men's and women's sports of our community, the queer community. I really love it. I love that I watch the WNBA, and I think I don't remember what the exact numbers are, but there are a lot of those women that are actively out. I mean, they're out as queer. Like
Yeah,
some of them will be married, have families with each other. I'm like, if you saw that, I think if you saw that in men's sports, though, that'd be still a little unusual because I feel like there's still a lot of this sort of warped masculinity around
right,
around
right.
men's sports, like this toxic masculinity almost. Like
Right.
Oh, it's like UTJ, you can't throw a ball, whatever. Like people still say that kind of stuff in most sports. So it's like, you know, um, I feel like it's a lot different for men to come out in sports, although that's happening more now
Yeah.
than it is for women to come out in sports. Because I feel like, okay, so like now you can start naming some international soccer players here, like Robbie Rogers. Um, I'm sorry if I won't get to all of them, but and then there's like a ton in women's sports. But like I said, there's a huge difference in how many women have come out in sports now versus the men. It's like
Yes. So like
it's still
in
pretty
football,
awful.
what
Yeah.
I can't remember the guys.
Carl Nassib.
No, no, the not this is just recently. I think his name is Michael something, but no, I could be wrong about that. Shoot, wish I could remember his
Michael
name.
Sam. Michael
Yeah,
Sam
yeah,
is the
that's
one
it.
who got drafted. That was 10
Yeah,
years ago. That
yeah.
was a huge
Well, I
deal
mean,
because
you know, that's fairly recently, but
yeah.
I was watching the show coming out Colton, and Colton
Colton
Underwood was,
Hayes. Or Underwood, not Colton Hayes. But Colton Hayes is probably
yeah,
aging, right?
Colton. I don't know, but
Oh,
Colton Underwood was in
Colton.
the NFL, and he went on The Bachelor because he wanted to try to act like, or try to convince himself and everybody else that he was straight, and
Mhm.
dated all these women, and then finally, when the show after the show ended, he had to break up his relationship and he came out as gay. So there's this limited series on Netflix. I think it's like 6 episodes called Coming Out Colton, and the camera crew follows him around when he comes out to his dad, his mom, his best friend, different people. But one of the episodes, he goes back to his high school coach. And so part of the reason he wanted to do this was because when he was growing up in high school, there was so much of that toxic um, homophobia in the locker rooms and stuff. They would make, if you did something wrong or whatever, you'd be called gay and you'd be called a queer and other things.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he he was he knew that he couldn't come out because he would be, rejected and ridiculed and everything. And he
Mhm.
wanted to go back to his coach and say, this was happening all the time under your nose, and you allowed this homophobia and this toxic environment. Basically, he wanted to get it off his chest and kind of wanted an apology, you know. And the coach, he he kind of did apologize, but he just made excuses too and be like, it's hard growing up, in this culture and whatnot. He kind of, blamed the culture, and yet
You realize that
he,
the coach is the one who can also, shape that culture. It doesn't have
right,
to
yeah,
be
exactly, yeah,
which culture is he blaming? The culture in general, the culture where they lived. I mean, it, it seems like he was, yeah, like you said, he was apologizing for it by coming up with an excuse, which
right,
isn't really an apology. That's more of like
right, exactly, exactly,
it
yeah,
all comes out as an excuse if you apologize with the excuse. It's like you're not really genuinely apologizing if you have to have an excuse.
right. He didn't
'Cause
want to
that
take any of
allows
the
you,
blame, really.
yeah, that allows you to continue that behavior
Yeah,
without feeling that remorse. And I think that's
yeah.
where he ended up. Like, oh well, I mean, it wasn't my fault. Yeah, sure it wasn't.
And after he talked to him, he kind of came away from it. He was talking to his best friend afterwards. He was like, "Yeah," it's like he, I didn't really get all that I wanted, but at least I got it off my chest and I told him how I felt about it. And that's all he can. I mean, you can't force somebody to change. You can't force someone
Yeah.
to apologize or anything. But so he did his part. he told him how
Yeah.
he felt and made him aware of the situation, which I think was, I think that part was pretty brave because I know in sports you become really close to your coaches and kind of look to them as like a second father almost, and that's kind of what he was. He was
Yeah.
so into football and so dedicated to it, and he saw his coaches as like his mentors and father figures.
He did. Yeah.
Right.
He probably, I mean, how was his life at home? Like, were his parents supportive?
They
Like, I
were
didn't watch
they
them.
Yeah, it went really well for him as far as his parents, his family goes. His dad was um just like a lot of dads, he wasn't real an emotional guy, but he felt bad that he couldn't have told him, you know what I mean? And but he was he was accepting. He told him he loved him no matter what, and the same way with his mother and his brother. So his family was great about it. Not so much his church. He wanted to talk to his home pastor, and that didn't really, it went about as well as you would expect, I guess. I mean,
I
it was kind of like, kind of going back to that theme of, uh, love the sinner but hate the sin kind of thing. They still told him he was accepted in the church, but accepted in quotes. You know what I mean? Because
yeah.
not fully accepted as who he was. You know what I mean? He
Like, a
could
tie
come
back
to
to
the
that
church.
story. Yeah.
Yeah. He was welcome to come into the church, but who he was not accepted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, a tie back into that story I wrote a couple weeks ago about that pamphlet I found on the
Oh, yeah.
in the laundry room in the truck stop. To how you can love the sin but not the sinner. And well, it was just like a whole thing saying, well, love the sinner,
Right.
whatever.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
Uh, yeah, yeah,
But not the sin. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It was the whole thing is like that elevator and the lesbians. It was a whole thing, and I was like, what the L? What the L? What the F am I reading right now? You know what I mean? Like, what is this? It's
Yeah.
like that's funny. Yeah. Uh, I think uh, I think you've touched on it. I think men's sports is still a long ways away from
Yeah.
accepting and being less homophobic about it. I mean, it's gotten to a point where I've noticed on social media, which social media plays a huge part in this as well. So like social media, I've started to see a lot more gay sports fans come out and feel more comfortable in the spaces where you see a lot of comments of people who are a little more in the camp of the coaches, the coach mentioned. And I
Yeah.
feel like with more and more people like the other day I was before I deleted Facebook, there's this comment of this guy's like, oh my God, Caleb Williams, this NFL player, he's a Bears quarterback right now. He hasn't come out as gay or anything, but he likes to wear nail polish.
Oh, okay.
He's admitted to cross dressing and stuff like that. He's like he's a it seems like he's an ally. Whatever. He's like, dude, whatever happens in private, I mean, that shouldn't be anybody's business, whatever. Like, I can express myself the way I want to. But I heard somebody had commented on a post on something saying that the word we hear that I don't
Yeah.
like to repeat,
Right.
who wears nail polish and blah blah blah. I'm like, what's wrong with that? Like, I'm a gay sports fan, and I think what he's doing is great, even if he's not gay. And like these people are just like, I'm getting like comment after comment, reply, whatever, some in support and some like saying some rancid shit, and I'm just like, wow, okay. Men's sports really still is kind of like it's like the last aspect of our major culture that's kind of still being left behind in the Stone Age. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But women's sports, like the WNBA, oh my gosh, I love watching it because I see all these queer women and it's amazing.
Yeah, and that's kind of well, this the coming out Colton, it just came out uh couple just like 2 years ago, I think, or something like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's still alive. That culture, that locker room bro masculine culture is still alive in high schools today, I think. But I think as kids grow up and are more exposed to queer representation, that they're more accepting of it. Now the
The
adults,
younger generation is
right,
definitely
right. The adults
like
take a
like
little
like
longer.
like I would say like a majority of and it's not I don't think it's a simple majority. I think there's a large majority of the Gen Z generation right now and the alphas that accept it. They're just like
Right.
this is a part of our society. Even millennials, but like as you get to the older millennials, the Xers and the boomers, it's a little bit more of a it's still
Yeah.
kind of but I mean I've seen it getting better. I've seen that this representation has allowed like my dad who's a boomer and these older people to feel more comfortable coming out, which I think
Yeah.
is wonderful. Yeah. My dad didn't come out until he was like how old was he? Like in his 40s.
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't come out until I was in my 30s. I mean,
Yeah.
late
I was
20s. Late
yeah,
20s.
that's yeah, same for me. I was about there around yeah, late 20s, early 30s. I mean,
I was a
I was kind of
I grew up in a
gradual.
religious house too. Yeah. I grew up in a
Yeah,
religious
yeah.
household too. So I
Right.
get it. I think you and I have a similar story there with that.
Yeah.
Although, yeah, the whole flip with my dad being gay and in the end, that's kind of different. But yeah.
Yeah.
um, well, I kind of touched on it, a little bit. I know, uh, we were going to mention it later in the talk, but the role of social media, I think we should touch on that a bit. What do you feel like the role of social media has allowed our individuals that see a lot more of this either positive or negative representation of us in society? What how do you feel like that impacts it?
You know, it's it can go either way really sometimes because you can more easily make connections with people that aren't in your area, like especially like if you grow up in a rural environment, you can make connections who with kids who are uh well, not necessarily kid. I'm thinking about kids growing up with social media, but people
It doesn't
in
necessarily have
urban.
to be kids. Yeah,
Right, right, right. But I was just thinking that because
yeah,
a lot of kids are on social media, but um you can make connections with people who are outside of your demographic and outside of your area, your type of area. But there is a lot of toxicity in social media as well. I mean, people will
you don't say.
spew, yeah, well, yeah. People will spew a lot of hatred on social media more so than they would in person.
I deleted
So,
Facebook 2 weeks ago.
yeah, you told me about that. And and other accounts too, didn't you?
Just the
Or
two.
you were,
It was two Facebook accounts.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so they're, well, like with everything else, there are positive and negatives about it. You know, people can make connections, but they also receive a lot of hate.
Yeah. It has led to a lot more kids, I feel like, especially with social media, to feel more depressed or anxious when they go on there, despite the fact that they are able to connect with more people. They don't get I feel like they still don't get as much of the real life interaction. Oh, I love what Ashley just said here. Social media platforms are stupid. I think they should shut down. Yes, I love it. I absolutely love it. And I love what Marnie said here. I'm a Gen Xer and I could care less who people love. I enjoyed Brandon's cooking show as well. The older blender that worked was so cool. Nothing made today would last like that. I love that. Yeah, I love that. And no, I think Wendy was agreeing with one of our points.
Probably about the social media.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Um,
But so, how do you feel
about
about social media and its role in queer representation? Yeah,
I feel like I'm kind of in the same boat. I feel like there are its drawbacks and the benefits, but I think the drawbacks are starting to come in a lot more because bullying online,
yeah,
cyberbullying is a huge problem online for sure.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I've been the target of cyberbullies many times. I mean, I try to fight them. I don't try to go to their level, but I fight them. Like try to be kind, to take the high road. But a lot of times they just kind of stick to what they're doing, and I figure out when to ignore them at that point. Just don't let them get to me. But I mean, kids, we're talking about kids, right? Maybe they don't have those tools at times. They can't do what we're doing, and they give into it. They're like, I mean, it's sad to say, but a lot of like marginalized communities, like, I'm a brown gay guy, right? But like, some
yeah,
even more um susceptible, like let's say like the trans people right now, like a lot of our trans friends are being targeted for all sorts of things, and it's really really disheartening, and it makes my heart hurt right now. And I try to do everything I can to speak up against these people who are targeting our friends and stuff. And I think we have to educate people, and it's really hard because people just take what they say is research or whatever online and say this is what the reality is. Is what you're saying doesn't make sense, and it seems like common sense in this society has become less and less common. It's like
right.
every group now is fractured into what their common sense is, and that's made things so much worse.
Yeah, it's kind of gone in way like there was a time where there was a lot of cyberbullying and everything, and then
Yeah.
the companies started implementing, um, the
Safeguards.
safeguards. Yeah, so where you can report
Email jobs.
bullying and things like that. And then,
Yeah.
of course, then it's kind of gone back to where like even politicians have gone on there and bullied other people,
Yeah.
and they're acting like children.
We won't mention the specific politicians,
Well,
but
I think
I think
everybody
people
knows,
know.
but right. I mean, you can go on any social media and see it, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
but yeah, it's kind of gone. Uh, I think there was progress being made, and now it's like a lot of other things, it's going backward.
Yeah. There
But I'm
are some
hoping,
laws protecting some things in certain states, and there are in certain like jurisdictions and stuff. But I still feel
right?
like there's a lot more that can be done.
Oh
I
yeah,
was addressing Ashley's comment there. Yeah.
oh yeah.
Um, okay. Now that we're kind of focused on the politicians and things like that, um,
Oh right,
do you feel
yeah,
like our queer politicians, the people who are out as gay, like Pete Buttigieg, for example, who is a recent Secretary of Transportation under the Biden administration. Um,
right.
and then there was Dr. Rachel. Oh my God, I'm gonna forget her name. It wasn't Levine. Levine. Uh, the she was the Department of Human Health and Human Services under Biden as well. Yeah, the Department of HHS. That was her name, Dr. Rachel Levine, I think is how you say that. She was from the
Oh okay,
state that I was living in at the time when she was in the administration, from Pennsylvania. Um, I mean,
yeah,
there are a lot of there. You can look up. There are a lot of politicians who are gay, openly queer, trans. Like
right.
there are a few. I mean, Biden really opened up his cabinet. That's one thing I'll give him is that he had very diverse cabinet, and I really appreciated seeing that because I feel like now you just see like trans people in the administration, you see gay people in the administration, and you just see across the board, and it's like that's how our country should be because that's what represents all of us. And yeah, I love Pete and his husband too, Chasten. That's how you say his name, I think. Chasten
Yeah, I'm really
Buttigieg.
hoping. I mean, people have talked about him becoming the Democratic candidate for president, but then there's
Uh-huh.
also even on the Democratic side, there are people criticism that says that we're not ready for it, that people won't vote for him, and so
Just like a woman, yeah. Yeah, I was about to say closeted Republican, but I didn't want to go there though. But yeah, Lindsey Graham. Okay, all right,
yeah,
I'm done. Um,
I'm hoping
I
there
don't
will
want to
be
get.
more
I
support
don't want to be
behind him.
sued. Yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah, no,
but
it's like, yeah.
yeah,
Do you
there's
feel like it affects public policy? Like when these people come in, like do you feel like it positively impacts our community when we have more representation in government?
I think definitely, yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it kind of like representation in film and on TV. People are they see their idols and people coming out and in sports and stuff, and that emboldens them to come out. I think it's the same thing that happens in the political level. They see politicians who are openly gay, openly queer, trans, and I think it helps embolden them to fight for more laws that are more um what's the word,
Supportive.
supportive of the queer community. Or yeah, I was trying to think of a certain word, but it was on the tip of my tongue.
I
Then it
I
left.
think I had the word in my head too. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's fine, it doesn't matter. But anyway,
Beneficial. We could say beneficial to him.
yeah,
That's
to
probably
benefit
not
the queer
intended.
community.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, I think it does help.
yeah. I'd like to see more queer people feel like they feel safe enough to be able to run for politics, get in government. Um, in our current administration, though, I mean,
Yeah, well, I mean, I
uh,
guess right now we may just have to kind of just hold out for a little while longer.
well, I'm saying like even if you run at the local or state level at this point, I think depending on where you live, it might be different. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, it might be just a little different depending on where you are. Like if you're in California, I don't think you're gonna run into many problems. Like especially a very liberal part of California. Um, like San Francisco, I don't think they'd ever have a problem having the gay mayor. And that just doesn't seem like. I mean, I'm not gonna say that because I know that when I did go to San Francisco, despite how open they are in accepting our community, there are still some people in San Francisco that are actively against our community. Like you wouldn't think that, but you'd be
yeah,
surprised. Yeah, especially with the wealth inequality there now. I don't know. It's a little different. It's the gap is growing for sure. Yes, I do live, Victor, and I know you were my replacement on Peter's show the other day, so we're not going to bring that up. I've already talked to Peter and directly to Phil, so we'll get into that later. Anyway,
so let's see. We've covered basically film, TV, movies. So, did we talk about news anchors yet?
I mean, news anchors to a certain degree, I think, kind of we like kept touching on it because with politics and everything, like Don Lemon, like
Anderson
Anderson
Cooper.
Cooper.
Yes.
Who else? Who else am I missing? Is Rachel Maddow?
I mean, if she's not, she's got to
Yeah,
be.
no, no. Well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking she is, but I had to make sure. I don't want to. Yes, she is. I just didn't want to say that name and then be like, "Is she lesbian?"
Yeah,
I'm like,
I
"Oh,
know.
she is." Yeah.
Like,
Well, I
I
mean,
mean, I'm pretty
yeah, yeah,
sure.
yeah. I'm like, yeah. But anyway, I love having that. Like when I'm watching the news, like whenever I get a chance to watch news, I don't like to watch the news too much anymore on broadcast or like
Oh, I know.
those 24
Yeah.
hour cycles. I get a lot of my news on like from the AP on the internet or like routers or is it Reuters.
Reuters. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, wherever else. Like I just try to like read my stuff online and I don't really watch much TV anymore. So like network TV doesn't really affect me. Like when they say like you're watching like CNN versus Fox News or whatever, like I don't know. Doesn't really affect me. But like every once in a while I'll see clips from like Rachel Maddow or like Anderson Cooper,
Yeah.
Don Lemon, whatever. And seeing those clear faces on TV, I feel like that gives me a little bit of hope
Yeah.
again for the future. And I think what we're segueing into is what do we think the future of our community's representation is? And do you have any thoughts on that, Brandon?
The future. Sometimes I feel like the future looks bleak, but
You think it's regressing? You think we're regressing a bit?
I mean, I don't see it personally in my day to day interactions, but I see it in laws on TV and things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of feel optimistic in some ways because of my personal interactions. I still live the same way I have, but like I said, laws changing and things like that. I don't I don't know.
I'm gonna
I get
mention something here though.
you what?
I live in I know you live in Missouri, right? Like you're in
Yeah.
like rural Missouri. You're like in deep red country, as am I. But it's weird because I'm one of the deepest red regions in a blue state. So that's
Yeah.
a little different. You're more in like a red purple state. I'm in a solid blue state, but I'm in the most red part of that solid blue state. And it doesn't feel any different than anywhere else I've gone. That's pretty deep red. But the thing I've noticed in my interactions day to day with the people out here is that the people out here just want to live their lives at night. They
Yeah.
leave me alone. They don't bother with me. They're like, you do you, I do me. Like at the end of the day, like people are people. We're all in this together. And that's how I feel
Yeah.
like what gets ignored on social media, on the news, in media, is that most people don't care. Like they don't care. Like you're gay, that's cool. Like whatever. Like,
Yeah.
but I mean, I hear that, but then I also hear a lot of those same people sometimes say like, "Well, I don't want it in front of my children," and that kind of bothers me a little bit
Yeah.
because it's like I feel like they want to regress us, even if they're showing that they're accepting and showing that we're moving forward. Some of those same people are kind of throwing a wrench in there and saying no, but not in front of my children. I'm like, okay. I mean, your children
Yeah.
are going to see it anyway. There's one person I talked to whose child, I'm not going to name any names here because this is not something that would be safe for them. But they came out to me and they're like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can come out to my parents. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know how they feel about this, and
Yeah.
that's sad. It's still very
Yeah.
real. I
Yeah.
think it's a mixed
It
bag
still
at this
happens.
point. We're moving forward, but we're also regressing. Oh yeah. Oh, I know. I feel like that's gonna happen for sure, Marnie. Oh my God, she saw what Marnie wrote in the comments, right?
Yeah, Marnie says, I'm just so afraid this orange felon regime wants to turn us into Gilead from the Handmaid's Tale. Yeah.
It's totally
That's one
happening.
thing I've noticed in the Pride Fest that I've gone to this year. There have been at least a couple of them where there were people, women dressed in handmaids costumes
Yeah, as a
as
statement.
a kind of a call or a protest or uh, an awareness they're trying to bring to what's happening.
You feel like our First
But
Amendment's under attack at this point? Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
it's undeniable.
yeah,
It's undeniable. I think. Well, I think to ignore that would be dangerous. And I feel bad saying this in my own the way that I've carved out my own space for my queer space online, because I have the Rainbow Room. We haven't gotten a lot of
right,
interest in that hub since it's been a while now because I started it before he came back in,
yeah,
and it kind of lost momentum after that.
yeah,
It's like I wanted that to be a space, a safe space for anyone in our community, LGBTQ plus, like everyone who identifies in the queer community, wanted them to have a safe space, right? We still get stories in there every once in a while, but I feel like we're losing momentum, and I feel like our right to express ourselves more freely is under attack. And I appreciate the people who are speaking out against these things. I wish I was a little more vocal at times. I just want to survive because my life. I have an alternative lifestyle living in Navi, and I have a lot of other things to worry about as well at the same time. But I do try to try to fight for fairness, try to fight for the voices that are being a lot more suppressed. You know what I mean? Like I feel like
yeah.
that's important. It's still as important as it ever is.
Well,
Yeah,
we
that is
are
true.
a little over the top of the hour, so if we want
Ooh,
to,
wait,
we might
the dragon.
wrap this up and any.
We could take questions from the audience. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah, we could.
I'd
So
like that.
Victor says the dragon.
Especially since
The
Victor's in here. Yeah,
Victor says the Dragon Prince, a kids show on Netflix, is a good show for representation. I don't know that one, but I could look it up.
yeah, I'll check it out. That sounds cool. And Ashley says they have a huge gay pride festival in Texas.
Yeah, well, that's one thing.
What
Like
part of Texas? What part of Texas is this? Is this like
I'm
Austin or
even though
Dallas?
I'm in Missouri and I'm in a red state, but we still have really great pride parades and great pride fests. And I didn't feel unsafe at all. It was all the ones that I've been to have been great. And there there was only one place in St. Louis. There were a few protesters on the outskirts of the barrier and
Oh,
on the
San
street
Francisco.
corner, and they had signs, and the guy with the megaphone, he was reciting Bible verses. But other than that, everywhere else, I didn't see any protesters. So I think that was a really encouraging fact, for a red state. And Ashley being in Texas, San Antonio, she
San
says,
Antonio. Yeah,
yeah, there's still a huge gay pride festival there.
yeah.
So I think there's still reason to be optimistic.
I do too.
Marnie says I'm in a blue dot of a very red state, Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, South Carolina. Yeah, yeah. You know what's funny about South Carolina? South Carolina is an interesting case. South Carolina, um, used to have a little bit of a blue momentum to it. But in more recent years, it's turned very red. Um, I mean, there are always. I have a friend who lives in South Carolina. He lives in Greenville, and he's very encouraged by his own city's push to decide to get more younger people to vote, to sign up. Obviously, as Democrats, to try to turn that state a little more purple than it is right now. But I mean, I feel like with the current, well, I'm going back to this. I mean, I don't really want to. I don't want to anger the current administration, but uh, I feel like the more momentum we get with, especially with the midterms and with local and state elections, I feel like we could turn the tide against what's happening right now
Yeah.
with the ruling party. Ooh, to say. Oh yeah, yeah, I love
Ashley
Pride.
says, I go to those festivals all the time and they're awesome. That's great. Oh, hi, Eileen. I didn't see you come in. Don't forget there are so many more of us than the minority of the voting population that voted for this party.
Oh, for sure. I'm an independent. I totally get that. I'm third party voter all the way, but I caucus with the Democrats every once in a while, especially when it benefits the country as a whole.
Well, I think we've pretty much covered all the things that we were going to cover. Do you have any
Yeah.
final thoughts as far as queer
Um,
representation in media?
or just in general.
Yeah, oh yeah, just in
Honestly,
general.
honestly, I want to thank everybody for coming today. I had a really great time talking to you about this. I feel like we covered everything we wanted to cover. We had
Yeah,
a great conversation about everything. We shared some personal stuff about stuff that we went through as children. Um, Talked about like the stuff we like. I love that you brought up that with Holton thing, Holton Underwood. Because
yeah.
I mean he's a great example of a player who was in the NFL who came out. He's kind of an inspiration to a lot of even the people who are still closeted in the NFL. Because there's got to be more gay people in the
Oh yeah,
sports
yeah.
that are out
And
right now.
well,
So
not just in sports, but in every facet of life, there's still closeted people that are afraid to come out at work or in their jobs as actors in politics and everything. But yeah, I mean, it happens a lot more, I think, in men's sports.
yeah, and I wanted to say that I really feel like we brought a lot to the table today in this conversation, even if it was just us sitting around just talking about our thoughts on it. I feel like just getting that voice out is really what's important. Making sure that the people who feel unseen are being represented and being seen at this point.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on. I'm glad we finally did this. We've been talking about it for a while, and I hope we can do it again. We'll think of another
I hope so
subject to
too.
come up with, and that would be a lot
I
of
hope so
fun.
too. That'd be amazing. Yeah, no, we're gonna do this again. I was really, really excited to come on. Thank
Everybody
you
in the
so much,
chat,
man.
I appreciate you all coming in. And if you haven't just subscribed to me, you can go to my publication, which is Brandon Elridge is So Gay. And then also go to Sturge Writes It Down and subscribe to him. And we will see you some other time, I guess.
Definitely. And Victor
All
said if
right.
I'm not available for the next video that we plan, let him know so he can be the backup.
Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just gonna let you. Well,
I'll
because
bring him
he
in.
was my backup. He was
Yeah,
my
I know.
backup with Peter. So
I
yeah,
watched
yeah,
that
we're
one.
gonna.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll be
All
available.
right.
I swear.
Well, Gerald, thank you so
All right.
much for coming in. I'll talk to
Thank
you
you,
very
Brandon.
soon. All right.
Thank you.
See you
Bye.
all. Bye.